Mudryk said to me, I wanna win number 3. It's been a while since we've heard that song.
You ain't so tough with that bad boy tuck. I'ma get it how I'm living, I'ma walk the walk. Outline my lines, I rap through thought.
Wagwan, you little langtings. How's it going? Welcome back to Football Therapy with me, Yost. Yeah, and I do hope you're doing well, mate. Really do hope that. Welcome back to Chelsea News. Today, we are discussing Mudryk. Could he go to Sevilla or Manchester United? Chelsea, of course, chasing a big winger. We've not really heard too much about targets. We'll speak a little bit about Nico Williams, and I'm sorry, Garnacho. Sancho, of course, is coming up again on the Football Insider. We're going to talk a little bit about Nico Williams still, which I don't know how we could do that in terms of wages. A little bit on Dean Howson wanting to go to Real Madrid. Osimhen could still go to PSG after Galatasaray, which I don't understand entirely because they've seemingly got their attack down, bro. Yeah. So we'll speak about that a little bit as well. And of course, Todd Boehly spoke to Bloomberg again. He loves these financial conferences, interviews, and he spoke about an ownership rift. He was asked about that from the interviewer. We'll go over his quotes as well. So there's lots to get into today, gang. Thank you for joining me. Thank you, as always, for hanging out with me here on Football Therapy and supporting the content. Dropping a like on the video. If you're yet to subscribe, you're welcome to, mate. So why don't you? And then hit the bell if you choose to. All right, let's start off with these quotes from Boehly at Bloomberg. He was asked by the interviewer, look, this is the standards, which was pretty good actually, sort of putting to him like it's not been good enough. I can't remember what she said verbatim, but she put it on him a little bit, which is good really, because if you're gonna go around talking finances and money to all these things, be ready to someone out to ask you what about Chelsea being good again. Of course, you made that really concerning comment about 3 years isn't a long time in football. Simon Jordan on TalkSport correctly pulled him up on it and said, no, 3 years is a ruddy long time in football. So we'll see what happens there. He says this when asked about the ownership rift. He says, look, we're thinking about long term what we are trying to accomplish. We have a big stadium development opportunity that we have to flesh out. And I think that is where we either align or ultimately decide to go our different ways. But what has been written and talked about has much more drama than was actually happening. It may be true, certainly very interesting to learn that, yes, this rift that was, it was real because we know it's real because both sides for a little while there were briefing journalists. Do you know what I mean? You were getting comments from both Clearlake and Boehly and boys. So, interesting to hear their love affairs ending on the stadium, which, to be fair, is a big element of the purchase when Rain Group sold Chelsea when it was seized on behalf of the government, when it was seized from Abramovich. Obviously, there was a few things. This is another thing. Like, if Chelsea gets sold again, like if these owners go, there won't be Rain Group with all these things saying, well, you have to invest in the stadium, you have to invest in the women's team, which is doing really well, the academy, you have to keep doing Chelsea Foundation work. This was all written into the agreements when Chelsea was sold by Rain. That if they sold Chelsea now, there wouldn't be any of that. It would just go to the highest bidder, which is very concerning actually if you deep it. And it would be it won't be a state that buys Chelsea because the Saudis own Newcastle, the Qataris own PSG, so there's crossover in, Premier League and Champions League. Abu Dhabi have Man City. To be honest, I think the owners and directors test is changing, so you won't have state ownership as easy. And it will, Sir Jim Ratcliffe's bought Man United, who tried to buy Chelsea. You'd have to say we dodged a bullet there. It will be another American consortium, but it will be another American consortium that don't have this checklist from Rain that they have to do. Anyway, so we'll see what happens there. They might kiss and make up. But interesting comments. Certainly we're learning a little bit more about why they don't love each other as much as they used to. All right. Let's talk about some transfers then very quickly. Dean Howson, he was speaking about Real Madrid and loving Sergio Ramos being his idol. Apparently he does want to go to Spain. Romano, of course, confirmed, and I reacted to how Chelsea have a good relationship with his camp, his people, it was worded. But it's been reported that he would like a move to Spain amid Real Madrid interest. I mean, fine. Real Madrid, Chelsea, they'll pay at least twice the wages. And, he's a Spanish international and it's Real Madrid. Fine. We'll look at other people, Mark Gehies or whoever. Another good young centre-back. It's not the biggest problem position, you'd have to say. Striker, certainly Ruddy Heck. Is. my brain is fried today. I did want to speak a little about Osimhen. Man United apparently really, really into the idea of signing him. I mean, they don't have any money. How are they going to pay his wages? There's this exclusive here on Give Me Sport. Exclusive: Man United fear Champions League giant in race to sign the £63 million star. Of course, £63 million is the reported clause for Victor Osimhen for non-Italian clubs. Obviously, Napoli don't want to sell to rivals. Osimhen being linked with Man United and Chelsea, I think he wants money. I do think, despite the Ineos cuts of Jim Ratcliffe and his, his tyranny and his tyrant reign, they will still, if they can get lots of players off, they will still give a striker big high wages. I'm being a little bit presumptuous there, but I wonder if they will. And I wonder where Chelsea are. But apparently they fear the interest of Paris Saint-Germain, which is really interesting because PSG under Luis Enrique, you have to say, it's the best they've been for friggin' donkey's years. They're an exciting young attacking team. He's a good coach. And he doesn't play with a conventional striker. He had both Kolo Muani and Gonzalo Ramos. And he was still playing for a while Asensio as a false nine. And indeed now he's playing Ousmane Dembele as a sort of de facto false nine who's scoring loads and loads of goals. And even if they get rid of Kolo Muani, they already got rid of him or loaned him, you still got Gonzalo Ramos. Why would they want to buy this conventional number 9? It kind of confuses me a little bit. I do wonder if Osimhen was given the chance to go to PSG, he would absolutely, I think, take it. I know there were stories about him maybe not wanting to or them pulling out, but he's obviously played in Ligue 1 before for Lille, played very well, scored loads of goals for them. I'm assuming speaks French, and PSG would definitely pay him loads of money. We know he's got financial interests because that's what broke down at he wanted to come to Chelsea. Chelsea did offer him more money than they were prepared to do, but it still wasn't enough for him in the dying moments. John Obi Mikel thinks they were close enough to a point where they could get over the line should they reopen talks. But, PSG will undoubtedly offer more money than Chelsea. And to be honest, it looks pretty fun over there at the moment. If there is an instance where Luis Enrique is like, I've been playing a strikerless system because Gonzalo Ramos and Kolo Muani aren't exactly my guys, but Osimhen, if you come, bro, we will play. But it would feel like a shame to drop one of their attacking players at the moment, wouldn't it? Especially with Desiré Doué coming on, looking very, very good as well. It'd be very interesting to see the developments there with Osimhen, but I think if he gets the opportunity and they ring him up and say, yeah, we want you, come join this really fun party, they might win the Champions League this season as well. I think he'd go, merci bien, as a French speaker, take the 350k, 400k a week or whatever he'll get, and be on his merry way. But who knows? I mean, Man United, they could win the Europa League and qualify for the Champions League, but they don't look like the most stable landing spot. Even if I do have a little bit of faith in Amorim. I feel like he's been thrown into an absolute circus. But we will see what happens there. Right, let's talk about a winger then. So this is coming from the boot room, again, an exclusive, apparently. Chelsea have begun talks to sign £50 million attacker. So this is Nico Williams. And yes, I'm the same as you guys. My initial reflex reaction to this is, well, Nico Williams is on insanely high money because, of course, he plays for Athletic Club, Bilbao. And they pay their players really high because they don't pay transfer fees, so they're end up just throwing all the money into player wages, despite not being one of the giants in Real Madrid or Barcelona. They pay really high wages to their players. Chelsea, of course, lately synonymous with not paying seriously high wages, especially to young players. Now, Nico Williams, obviously he wanted to go to Barcelona. They wanted to sign him and essentially move Rafinha out. They're probably happy they didn't because Rafinha's gone absolute, Super Saiyan mode, scoring loads of goals and assisting and, developing a good relationship with Lamine Yamal. And he's been a bit of a leader as well, Rafinha. So I do wonder if they've gone off the boil a little bit with Nico Williams and that offers an opportunity for Chelsea. Williams is one of the most wanted wingers in Europe right now, but the forward has previously been skeptical, easy for me to say, about leaving Spain. A move to Barcelona would be the 22-year-old's preference. Of course, he wants to link up with his homie Lamine. However, whilst Barcelona hold an interest, of course, Rafinha is done really, really good, and they've got Ferran Torres as a backup. Now, Nico Williams is open to a Premier League move this summer. A message that's been heard loud and clear by the likes of Liverpool and Arsenal. Chelsea seeking an upgrade this summer. The Graham Bailey understands Chelsea have joined rivals in the hunt for Williams. Now, Chelsea has already tried to sign Nico Williams. It looks like in the summer where we're really, really chasing him, but we caught Wendy who wanted to go to Barcelona. And of course, there is the story Chelsea are considering not signing Jadon Sancho and paying the £5. If it was £5, I think they do it 5 million. And by the way, happy birthday, Jadon Sancho. It's his 25th birthday today. On the 25th, would you Adam and Eve it? So happy birthday, Jadon Sancho. He's still young, turns 25 today. And I have been very, consistent in, I think he is a good young player that could be really great for Chelsea. Heck, he could be a starter for Chelsea, but if not, he could be an excellent rotational option. So there is that. But there also is Nico Williams, it's his wages, basically. That's the story about Nico Williams. If we... £50 million apparently, or just under £50 million. Chelsea would have little concern about meeting Williams' asking price, which is under 50 million quid, owing to a release clause in his contract. However, here it is, the Spaniard's personal demands are sizable, given the winger is already earning a big wage in La Liga. For me, you've got these people like Esteval and then Aquenda eventually coming, and, we've got other wingers and there's other options. I do wonder if just dropping the bag on this 22-year-old for wages is the solution. It would be an exciting player. He'll start for Chelsea, but I think it's a little bit presumptuous that it's going to work and it's worth throwing all the money at. Let's move on. Of course, shout out to Chelsea captain Reece James for scoring one of the best free kicks I've ever seen for England yesterday. His first England goal. Postage stamp, whipped out and in, beautiful goal. So very, very pleased for Reece James. Just want to get that in, as well as happy birthday to Jadon Sancho. Mudryk, Mikhailo. An article yesterday on Football Insider sort of spoken about Mudryk. I kind of wanted to speak about him a little bit. Of course, there's been no update officially provided on his B sample from the doping scandal, but he has been linked to exits already. Those exits are Sevilla and Manchester United. Now, Manchester United's weird. It might work really well. Would he play wing-back Amorim, or would he be like a transitional left-sided player? I don't know. Mudryk is a good player. Chelsea is we're still considering Garnacho, which is crazy for me. Man United would sell lots and lots of people to generate a rebuild for players that they think is going to upgrade the team, make them a more functional team, make them a better team. Little bit also very, very quickly on Raheem Sterling. Apparently he wants to join a new Premier League club. And then it says here, Arsenal staff concerned. Why are they concerned about Sterling leaving? He's keen to remain in the Premier League next season. How he's now considered certain, to leave Chelsea permanently this summer, which, yes, we all know. It's been confirmed by Romano, but, anyone's nan could have told you that. That is according to Man United former scout Mick Brown, who is well connected with the game. Who else in the Premier League? It says there's interest here in the Saudi Pro League. Great. Firstly, Arsenal should not be concerned at all. He's made 23 appearances and scored 1 goal. He has got 4 assists, but it's very, very poor. I don't think anyone should be concerned about him leaving and going to a rival Premier League club. I just very, very... Where is it? I get it. Maybe a Brentford. He would have to literally take 75% off his wages if he's really that bothered about playing in the Premier League and go to like a Brentford or something like that. Do you know what I mean? No disrespect to him. He's had an amazing, illustrious career, but my word. he is, he's not that guy at the moment. And yes, he would get better if he got a run of games and a little bit of belief. Of course he would. But my giddy aunt, she's off her nut. I don't know who's going to take him. Yeah, okay, cool. Guys, let me know your thoughts. Please leave them down in the comment section below. I appreciate them all. Thank you for liking the video. Thank you for subscribing to Football Therapy. And I do hope to see you back here very soon. Take care of yourselves. Peace.